PFF came out with an article where they talked about every team's strength, weakness, X factor, and more. So I'm going to break this down for the Chicago Bears people. What is going on, y'all? Phosphorus all back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, please, I implore you, hit that subscribe button down below. I promise you, you will not regret it. Post a lot on this channel, so make sure you hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I do so, people. You will not regret it. Weekly videos for sure. And make sure to follow me on all my social platforms. Reach out, ask questions, all of that good stuff. So with that being said, let's hop into it. So PFF came out with this article. They basically went through every team in the NFL and they said these are the biggest strengths for this team, biggest weaknesses, the X factor, rookie to watch for this team, and then they did an over-under on the win total. So let's take a look at what they have for the Bears. All right, so here we go. This is what they have for the Bears. So for the Bears, let's start at the top here. They say the biggest strength for the Bears in 2023 is going to be their run game. All right, so they say not much went right for Chicago in 2022, but it is very clear that the foundation of their rebuild will be their rushing attack. Justin Fields, David Montgomery, and Khalil Herbert combined for more than 2,500 rushing yards. Fields' 91.5 rushing grade was tied for fourth in the NFL, regardless of position. Montgomery is off to Detroit, but D'Onta Foreman arrives to complement Herbert. This team will be built on power running and play action shots down the field. So, do I think the biggest strength for the Bears in 2023 will be the run game? I do agree. It won't be to the disparity it was last year, where it was like by far it's the run game because the pass game was non-existent virtually. But it will be, for the most part, the biggest strength because Justin Fields, again, he's not going to run for 1,000 yards again, I believe. I don't think he should. That's probably not good for the Bears, right? Because he's run out of necessity. But I think he will still run a lot. And also, we have, revamped the running back room, as they mentioned, with Herbert, with D'Onta Foreman, and with our rookie Roschon Johnson, who we'll talk about a little bit later. But you've got kind of the running game there, and it's established, and I think everything will be built off the running game. I think we'll be passing it a lot more this year. But to say that your offense, in terms of the passing attack, will go from being one of the worst in football to being absolutely prolific and the biggest strength on the team, I just don't think that's necessary. Or at least, I don't think that's realistic. It is necessary to do that, but it's not realistic. It's just not going to happen. And defensively, look, the Bears defense was awful last year, so I'm not going to say the defense is the strength of this team, and we're not talking about special teams here. So it's really, we're talking about the offense, and I agree, it's probably going to be the run game, all right? It's going to be Fields, Foreman, Herbert, Roschon Johnson. Running offense is going to be very, very prolific for the Bears, and I think everything will be built off that play action passes, bootlegs, etc., etc. Right? Let's talk about the next thing they have. The biggest weakness in 2023 for the Bears, the run defense, is what they say here, PFF. The Bears gave up the second most rushing yards in the league last season. That matches their 31st ranked team run defense grade. Both marks finishing only ahead of Houston. Their front seven simply lacked starting caliber talent last season, especially after the team traded Roquan Smith. The Bears hope some new additions, primarily at linebacker, bring better results up front. The defensive line currently looks like the weakest unit on the team. Now, this is a good argument here to say that the Bears' run defense will be terrible, because I do think it will not be great. But I would probably say the biggest weakness is going to be pass rush, because we really don't have the personnel to rush the passer. And so to me, I would put the pass rush as the biggest weakness. We really didn't draft an edge rusher. We really didn't sign an edge rusher. Like, it's Travis Gibson and it's like DeMarcus Walker, and it's like, what else is there? It's pretty barren. We did address the interior of the defensive line. And by the way, I should have said we didn't sign a defensive end, because we did sign DeMarcus Walker. But my point is, it wasn't anyone prolific. And in terms of the interior of the defensive line, it did get better. Right? We signed Andrew Billings, you drafted Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens, and so you could say, hey, the run defense should be a little bit more improved because you did beef up the interior. But where's the pass rush coming from? You just don't have the personnel there. I think that's the biggest weakness for the Bears in 2023, not the run defense. I think they'll be second. All right, X Factor for 2023. They say it's wide receiver Chase Claypool. Okay, the Bears signed DJ Moore from the Panthers, and Darnell Mooney is very good when healthy. They sent a high second-round pick to Pittsburgh for Claypool mid-season, and so far it has not paid dividends. Midseason arrivals are tough, but Claypool managed just 140 yards in 7 games for Chicago. Justin Fields is a deep ball specialist, and Claypool has the requisite size and speed to excel vertically. I 1000% agree with this. Chase Claypool is the biggest X factor for the Bears this season. I think him having a solid to great season is going to unlock this offense for the Bears, because you know what you're getting in DJ Moore. He's an absolute stud receiver. Darnell Mooney, for the most part, when he's healthy, we know what he is. Chase Claypool had an awful showing for the Bears back half of last year when we acquired him. Now, again, didn't have full knowledge of the playbook, was just kind of thrown in. I can give him a pass there. But now with the full off season, knowing the playbook, knowing the offense, there should be no excuses for Chase Claypool. He is a very talented receiver, had a fantastic first couple of years with the Steelers, caught a lot of touchdowns. He's a deep ball threat. Like PFF mentions, he matches the type of receiver that excels with a guy like Justin Fields and his skill set. There should be no reason why Claypool does not pop off for the Bears. I'm not going to say he's going to be an all-pro receiver, but for where he is and what the Bears need from him as a wide receiver 3 behind Moore and Mooney, yeah, I think Claypool is the biggest X factor. So I 100%, 1000% agree here with PFF. All right, let's move on to rookie to watch, running back Roschon Johnson. So there are a lot of choices here in Chicago's huge draft class, or excuse me, amid Chicago's huge draft class. Johnson is a terrific fit for their offense. The Bears may have an elite run blocking unit last year. For Johnson to play behind, he'll likely start third on the Chicago's depth chart behind Herbert and Foreman, but that doesn't mean he is buried. His hard charging style makes him perfect for cold weather. Johnson's missed tackle force per attempt figure in 2022 was better than his Texas teammate Bijan Robinson. Oh boy, I agree with this one. I have been on record saying that Roschon Johnson will end the season as the Chicago Bears starting running back over Khalil Herbert and over D'Onta Foreman. Exactly when it happens is to be seen, but I believe at the latest it will be a little bit later than the midway point of the season. We're looking at maybe week 9, week 10, latest week 12 maybe, but I think it could happen even as early as week 4. Roschon Johnson has the most talent out of any running back on the Bears. Khalil Herbert's the best pure runner, but we're talking everything into account in terms of running, pass catching, blocking. It's Roschon Johnson. And so to me, he is absolutely the rookie to watch here. We've got a great rookie class, I think, that has a lot of talent. And you can easily say, hey, it should be Darnell Wright, our first-round pick, or 10th overall pick. But to me, Darnell Wright, I think everyone expects him to be good. We just don't know what Roschon Johnson is going to be in terms of, hey, he could be an absolute stud. The ceiling is to that level. So to me, I'm going to go ahead and agree with this. I think it's Roschon Johnson. All right. And finally, over-under win total 7.5 for the Chicago Bears. PFF is taking the under on that. All right. The Bears have maybe the toughest team to read in the NFL. Almost every year someone goes worst to first. They play a reasonably soft schedule and kept some games close last year. They still ended the year as the worst team in football, though. Justin Fields has to be better from the pocket, and Chicago won't go anywhere if he doesn't better his 54.4 passing grade. The Bears could win anywhere from 4 to 11 games. We'll have to see the latter happen before we believe it. I disagree, PFF. The Bears are winning more than 7.5 games. I've got the Bears penciled in at 8. I know it's a very narrow margin, but I do have them above this total, 8-9 or 9-8, whichever one I think is going to happen for the Bears. And here's why. The Bears schedule, right? They mentioned it. It's way better, way easier than last season. So you take that into account. You take into account the fact that Justin Fields is going to make that leap. We expect that to happen with him being comfortable, second year in Luke Getsy's offense, third year in the NFL, and he actually has, get ready for it, people, NFL talent around him, right? An actual right tackle in Darnell Wright, an actual number one wide receiver in DJ Moore, an actually competent offensive line for the most part, like a good running game. Like, he has got the weapons requisite needed to succeed. And so I expect him to make that leap. And look, this division, it got worse. I'm sorry. The Packers got worse without Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings have been kind of tearing apart their team. The Lions, are we really going to depend on the Lions to be just, the team that's absolutely going to run away with this division? No, we're not. We're not trusting the Lions. So to me, weak division feels improving. And just the fact that, it's an easier schedule, I'm taking the Bears to win 8 games or more this season. Give me over the 7.5. So there you have it, folks. My thoughts on PFF's kind of take on the Bears' biggest strengths, weaknesses, X factors, etc. Do you agree? Do you disagree with any of this? Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. As always,